QX provides outsourced bookkeeping and tax services. Some of our members are very fearful of trying to use an outsourced service, but our members who did had it pretty interesting and pretty wildly successful doing it if you know how to do it right. So we're going to learn how to do it and do it right if you want to consider outsourcing. So please join me in welcoming Laurence. Chuck, deliver you, unless you want to. No. Okay. Oh, you don't?
I'll pass on that one.
Then you definitely get it. So QX is outsourcing of exactly what?
So accounting, bookkeeping, tax preparation services, pretty much we're a fully CPA office in a sense, apart from we don't work with any clients. We just solely work to support bookkeeping and accounting firms.
And when someone engages with the services of QX, do we stay as our own businesses? We're still the front person and you're just providing the back end, or are you integrated in a different way?
Exactly. I mean, the idea is you want to be client facing. You want to spend as much time in front of your clients as possible. Obviously, as you know, the more time you spend in front of them, the more value realistically you're going to add to them, and they're going to see you as adding more value. Like just because you have that face time. So we just want to do the back end to help you out and give you and your staff in-house as much time as possible to do that client interaction.
Okay, so I've had, and I've outsourced overseas before, but I've had a lot of hesitancy about doing it. First of all, I know you're exclusively in India, right?
Yep.
So even though English is a common language, or maybe still a language barrier, it's 12 hours away. You know, there's a lot of these impedances. So let's talk about that. How do you address that distance, the gap in time?
So does anybody in the US? The US is pretty big as well. I mean, I'm from the UK and that's a lot smaller, but does anybody have any virtual employees right now? Anywhere in the US?
Okay, totally.
Okay, so, and now how do you contact them? It's generally through video conferencing, phone calls, emails. There isn't any delay anymore. I mean, technology is at the point where you're not going to have a delay in getting on the phone with somebody. We work US hours, so you can pick up the phone and talk to somebody. We work overnight as well, so you can send an email and send a project and it's done by the morning.
Yeah, and that was a big aha for me, because when we're talking about this, oh yeah, I can leave a message, but I want real time, and then you told me, well, we work US hours. Yeah. So when I'm up at East Coast time, 7 in the morning, calling QX, there's live personnel there. The interesting thing is you assign a staff. So it's not like I'm working with random people. Tell me a little more about this. I have dedicated staff at your office.
Yeah, so there's a couple of models. I mean, the first one is the dedicated model. So if you need somebody, an individual working for you full time, we can put dedicated staff member to you. So you can go as far as providing us a resume or a CV for that person, a job description. We'll go out, we'll make sure if we have somebody in-house, we will immediately put them on we'll put them in front of you for an interview. You can interview them, see if you're happy with them. If you are, put them in place. If you want somebody else that we have to externally recruit for, we will do and bring them into our office. Again, you can do the interview process yourself. And then the team-based model is more of for project-based.
Okay.
So for sole proprietors, if they just need the occasional project, you have a team manager, and pretty much you pass on the work to them, and they'll sort it out for you.
Okay. Now, what about cost? I mean, if I do this, it's because I want to save money, I presume. Maybe there's also for the efficiency. What's this cost?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously it's a lot cheaper. So,
a lot cheaper.
Yeah, so I mean, it ranges depending upon the volume of work normally, but it's about, just to put it into perspective, a full-time bookkeeper is normally about $1,600 a month set fee. That's for 140 to 160 hours, just like a full-time person in-house.
Say it is $1,200 per month.
1,600 per month. Yep.
And we do 1,500. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then like 3,000 is like our top level. So that's like you can get a CPA or a chartered accountant for $3,000 a month. And that's for high-level tax work, tax research, tax preparation.
You know, another concern too is the data itself. The data needs to be protected. There's requirements for compliance and so forth. How do I address that?
So I think the misconception there is data's being sent somewhere. Okay. So now with technology, generally speaking, you've got stuff on QuickBooks Online, so nothing's going to move. You just add us as a restricted user, just like an employee. We only access the clients that are there. You have document storage systems, again, virtually accessible. If you have any desktop software, we do a remote desktop connection in. So again, tax information not being sent anywhere. as long as your network's secure, we have the back end covered. Like, we're ISO certified, we're GDPR compliant, the first company in India to be GDPR compliant.
Wow.
And we have a team of about 25 IT professionals internal. So.
And what about me? One of the ideas too is I don't want to manage this person. I don't want to have to address whatever their concerns are for personnel issues and so forth. But what if I have a complaint to and it's not working with that person? How does that get handled?
So we can switch. I mean, we've got about 80 accountants in the office now working for the US, about 200 firms. So if you don't like something about somebody, I mean, just let the manager know, bring it up to their superior and say, listen, this person's just not working. Can we try with somebody else? I mean, the big thing is we have resources. Mm-hmm. Like, same as you may hire somebody and then you find out they're not the best fit. It happens sometimes, but you got to actually put some effort into it. You can't. It's not a very hands-off approach. Totally.
Right.
At the beginning, you do have to put some time into it. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to learn your processes. Simple as.
So I can deliver my processes to the team that's there.
Yep.
I get assigned, if I so desire, a specific person or persons to work with, and they're effectively my employees. But you manage the HR if something's not going well, and I don't want to have that person working with me anymore. You take care of that. And, okay. Has anyone outsourced internationally before? Like 1, 2 people, 3 people? Anyone like kind of skeptical or nervous, I should say, about it? Yeah. So if you raise your hand, that's how I felt. And so I was talking to you and said, listen, how do we try and not take this risk? Because it may not work. And he said, well, we agreed to this offer. So just explain what the offer is.
So we do a trial period. So you don't, no cost to you whatsoever. I mean, you can do 10 hours of free work with us. Generally, it comes to a couple of tax returns normally, or 10 hours of bookkeeping. That's a day and a half, pretty much, of your time that you don't need to spend doing a project. I can guarantee 99% of you have a project that isn't due tomorrow, but has stayed on your desk for the past 2 weeks, and you're waiting to do it. So
yeah, right? Yeah, you know exactly what it is.
It happens. So you can pass that project along, we can get it done, and it's turned around in a week or so, compared to it's going to get turned around next month otherwise, because it's not necessarily on the top of your priority list.
Boom. Yeah, so think about that thing you've just been putting off, and you have to do it. It's billable work, perhaps. Now you can get it done. And Laurence agreed, there's no credit card, no nothing. Just try it out. Experience it. I encourage everyone here to do it. And maybe at the end you say, this isn't fit for me. At least you now know for sure. Yep. So your booth is open. At the break, I encourage you to go visit with Laurence for exactly that.
Yeah.
All right?
Especially if you have concerns. If anybody has any concerns, come and talk to me. I promise you I'll probably put you at peace of mind.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay?
And I think, I got a nice vest. That tie is the winner. I got to be honest. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Give him the microphone.
Yeah, we'll do. Thank you.